Yeah, so we have a hand from Ricardo, and then I think I might look at some of the text questions after that. So Ricardo, if you may please unmute.
Yes, Tadena, thank you. Um, uh, IAC means International Advisory Committee, as you were saying before, and some of us are here in the meeting with you, and we are very happy to share this opportunity with you. We met as advisory committee yesterday, and I just put in the chat a list of possible criteria we agreed on yesterday to maybe even help the process to identify who will have responsibility in the process. From my side, just a couple of suggestions. At the light of the experience we had, in fact, in the past, I was the C20 Sherpa in 2029, and then I was a member of the advisory committee in the following years, helping a process in the other steps. The same for Maftu, Bini that are here, Anselmo that are here in the meeting with you. The first thing is that I would avoid to speak about leading organization. There is no leader here. We need to facilitate the process. So who will have any kind of responsibility in the process will provide a service to the community of South African civil society organization and of international civil society in the framework of the Civil 20. And I think that this is important. Mandla said that, but you, Tadena, as well. This is not a competition or whatever. This is a service. And I think that the organization or the organizations that will have this kind of responsibility mustn't be left alone. I mean, the C20 process is not something that is owned by the presidency of the C20. The presidency of the C20 will simply facilitate the process. And this is relevant also for the financial dimension. We do not have how can I say, a format for the financial issues. I mean, it depends on every year. Sometimes the government hosting the G20 process provides some money for the engagement groups, that is a C20, B20, T20, etc., etc. As we can understand, B20 does not need anything because they are companies, they are business, they are private actors, but we have the need, we as civil society, to find resources beyond the possible resources provided by the government. We need to fundraise, and this is a responsibility that normally is in the hands of the civil society of the country, but that I think has to be shared together. It will not just the organization that will be identified as chair or whatever that has to provide this. We have to do it all together, even finding, if possible, some helps from the international community. And in that sense, the third consideration. So first, it is facilitating and it is a service. Second, be careful and let's try to find solidarity in the financial process to fund the process. Third, I think that it's important to move towards a sort of even informal national platform. We have some countries with the national platforms that even, I repeat, informal, that help the civil society organization of the country to speak together, to coordinate the advocacy action. And this is helpful in the process of the C20 towards a G20, but it's useful also in the following years to speak with the government on the political agenda, or to find a way, a space to strengthen the voice. In that sense, my last consideration is, or second last, is that independently from the decision that you will take to identify who could put its contribution at the service of the process, it will be important to continue to have meetings like the one of today. That is that the idea is that the civil society of the country has to chair the process, to facilitate the international process. That means that it's not simply a responsibility of the organizations that will have a formal responsibility as chair or sherpa, but that means that it will be important to have opportunity monthly with the scheduling that you will choose, but to have the opportunity to meet together to see how the process is going on within the country, and to share a bit the idea about how to continue in facilitating the process. Of course, the process will be led by the steering committee and accompanied by the advisory committee. But I think that this dialogue among the organization in the country is relevant and can be, in fact, in perspective, the creation of a sort of platform that will be useful in the following years, because in the following edition of C20, we will have to be able to speak with the national Sherpa of all the members of the G20 group, and having a national platform that continues this follow-up and this advocacy with the government, in this case of South Africa, is useful. I will end here because we don't have too much time. Just a call on the urgency, because the South African government is already working on the issue notes and is already sending the issue notes to the partners of the G20, and we have to be able to talk with them and to influence this kind of process. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that, Ricardo. Yeah, I think your experience clearly shows. So we really appreciate those points that you made.